Hi, everyone, and happy Friday. And we're going to try to make this into a really good Friday. And for those of you who honor today, Good Friday, I know that it's often a day where you might go to church and have a family dinner, and if you're not able to do that in the way that you used to, uh, I'm sorry, and I know though that you have probably found some creative ways to get through this day and to make this day a special one. So I just have the utmost confidence in you around that. The other thing I just want to say is yesterday we obviously had technical difficulties, and uh, Deb and I are going to figure out how best to get our message out to you. And when we do, we're probably going to Zoom it and then send it online, and then we'll just let all of you know that it's there. Deb and I will also give you access to any of the Zooms that we're doing. Maybe you could find them on YouTube, and that way we're still talking to anyone who is a healthcare worker in an assisted living home, or anyone who's frankly on the front line, and then family members who can't get to their loved ones in an assisted living or a nursing home facility. So that's still on the agenda, and through technical difficulties, unfortunately, we uh, we were just not able to make the whole thing work. So we took everything down. Um, so I want to thank all of you who have supported this Facebook Live effort. It's been almost 2 weeks. And in these almost 2 weeks, there have been people I know who've been sick. And I'm wondering, have have you known someone who's gotten sick? And if so, um, what have you felt about that? Have you not been well? And if so, uh, how's that been for you? What's happened for you? It's this this COVID-19 seems to affect everyone differently. And today I just read an article about some people believing that it could actually be affecting the brain of some people, leading to confusion or leading to a sense of uh, just being uh, not being able to find words. No, I sometimes I can't find words, but you know, I uh, just know that every day we're learning something new, and every day, uh, as we gather new information, it makes me realize how important it is to not be a, a news hound, but just stay informed. And yes, this social distancing is still happening. And yes, this sense of being home and quarantined is still happening. But you know what? We're part of a change, because in New York, the way they thought that the numbers would go, the arcs that they were experiencing, well, new cases, they're starting to flatten out just a little bit, just enough. And that's really exciting. So we can be part of the change. We can so be part of the change. I'm in the process right now of writing a blog on it's called the hitchhiker, because I kind of think of COVID-19 as being a hitchhiker, and it's hitching a ride on all of us. And we don't want it, and we don't want to take it for a ride, but it's a hitchhiker that comes upon us, God, in ways that we don't even know, and can actually be on our packages, and we don't even know that this hitchhiker has landed on a package, and then we take the package into our homes. So if you do get packages right now, be be super, super, super careful, okay? Uh, Maybe keep the package out for a couple days and then spray the package down and wear gloves when you open the package. These are just ways to be super, super careful. So today, I thought we'd talk about a little bit about fear, and so I'm Jewish, and though I'm a spiritual Jew more than a religious Jew, because I kind of think spiritually from a lot of different perspectives, but it was just we're in the midst of Passover, just like Easter is coming up, and Ram Dass is, I think, coming up as well, right? And so these are all very sacred times and sacred moments for many, many, many people. And if you don't believe in anything and you're an atheist, well, you're an atheist, that's what you are. Great. And this conversation is really not for, anyone who has one specific religious belief. I'm bringing up my Judaism because there's a book that we read out of during Passover called the Haggadah. And there are many, many different Haggadahs, but it is really the story of Passover. So the Haggadah that my husband and I read from on 2 nights ago is called the Bet Aleph Haggadah by Rabbi Ted Falcon. And Rabbi Ted Falcon, I've never met you before. And if anybody out there knows him or knows of him, thank you so much for this, because this book, this story that was told in his Haggadah was really powerful. Today, I'm going to share with you, and it's not religious, it's actually a point of view in this Haggadah. And I quote, "In every beginning, there is darkness. And in darkness, there is pain and fear. There's confusion and there's doubt. But there's also a special wonder in the darkness, a deeper silence that calls out to us through the very pain we meet. And there is light we can sense only when we have met the dark. Perhaps the darkness helps us know the light. Perhaps our pain can teach us more deeply to appreciate our joy. Through that joy, we can most clearly, see our way unfold. We are on a journey that now fulfills our purpose, to redeem the sparks lost in slavery and introduce them to their freedom." And yes, the Passover story is a story about slavery and that the slaves find their freedom. And that is one part of the story. I guess philosophically, I'm wondering about slavery, wondering about redemption, wondering how the lives we led up until this point may have somehow enslaved us, may have somehow gotten us to a point where we're going about our day, we're kind of automatically moving through that day without taking a break, without thinking, without actually reclaiming ourselves, our souls, our spiritual knowing. And that maybe in the quieter moments, in the quieter times, we actually get to see us unfold. We actually have a chance for our own birthing, but we become the witness to that birthing. It's not about anybody else, and nobody else matters in this birth story. It's actually the story of you unfolding, finding your natural voice, and getting yourself out of a slavery. Maybe it's emotional slavery. Maybe it's your brain slavery of holding on to anxiety or holding on to fear or holding on to judgment. And the release allows you to find yourself. And it is so big and so bold that maybe it actually takes your breath away. Do you know what I'm talking about? I see. I've got a friend that just messaged me. So we get messages right on the left side, Kristen, and she's saying, "Hello, beautiful friend." And hello, my beautiful friend. And the reconnection and the reigniting of friendships is also part of this freedom. People have said to me, I'm actually talking to more people now than I've done in months or years. I'm actually connecting more now than I have. And connection has more meaning. And maybe we've enslaved ourselves to our computers and our phones and our TVs and our shows. And maybe there's been somewhat of an enslavement there. And maybe now, actually, with some time on our hands, we're freer. To plant new seeds, maybe. To get rid of some old seeds that aren't any good anymore? I hope so. To realign ourselves with new thought, new freedoms, maybe new jobs, maybe new friendships, maybe releasing the friendships that don't work anymore, and not being in judgment. So we're going to do a little exercise. It's a really, really quick exercise. I'd like you to think about the things that you have felt enslaved, where you have felt like, I have to, I must. This is a mandate. There's no way out. I'm imprisoned. And pick one thing for now. And you can do this exercise throughout the day, the week, the month. And then think about and picture, what would you rather be doing? Who would you rather be communicating with, connecting to? And then the third piece to this is imagine that you're now looking at yourself in a mirror. And what do you see? And how have some of your choices perhaps enslaved you? And how can you reach your freedoms or create them? So today and for the next few days, as we are in preparation for rebirth on so many levels, I hope that you get rid of one piece of slavery or enslavement and generate something new and rich and delicious. So I also want you to contact 3 people, tell them something that makes you laugh. You could share it with me too, by the way, on my Facebook page. Something that pisses you off, you could share that too with me because I want to know. And something that you've really been thinking about. You've got this. You've had the power all along. And don't forget it. Thank you and blessings to all of you with love.